Godzilla, king of the monsters.
Hi, I'm Shane from Cube Boy Collectables. I went toy hunting in Japan, and now you have to hear about it. Cube Boy. So I was recently lucky enough to go to Japan for work, and while I was there, you better believe I was going to do some toy hunting. So I got to check out so many amazing toy shops in Osaka, in Nagoya, and in Kyoto. Nagoya was the place where I had the most amount of downtime, so I spent a lot of time toy hunting at some amazing stores. I'm going to show you some of them now. I know you don't want to hear me talking about it, so let's get straight into the footage. The very first place that I went to, and this was MANDARAKE. This is one of those places that you just hear about in so many other toy hunting videos and online that everybody raves about, and it really did live up to my expectations, exceeded them even. It was like a multi-level place that had different things on every floor and just absolutely stacked with amazing vintage and new goodness. There's 4 floors. The first floor's got like manga and vintage stuff. The second floor is all figures and toys, cosplay on the third floor, and then Transformers, robots and dolls on the top floor. And there is really something for everybody. There's magazines, video games, manga, toys, whatever you're into, they had it here. Going through all these multiple levels of Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Godzilla, Ultraman, Keshi toys and Kinnikuman Man, vintage and new Sofubi, designer toys from the east and from the west, vinyl toys, model kits, and even some amazing stuff from the US that I hadn't seen in a while. And one of the things I was the most excited about was finding not only just retro stuff, but stuff that I was never going to be able to find easily in Australia. And that includes stuff like Godzilla and Ultraman, King Keshi, Kamen Rider, and all that kind of stuff, and it was in abundance. And the prices are so good here. I mean, the Australian dollar was a little bit in my favour, to be fair, but even the top-end stuff that would be so pricey and impossible to find in Australia was really reasonably priced here. And there was some amazing Japanese stuff that I'd never find back home that I was able to pick up for just a few bucks.
They're ugly, they're weird, they're tiny, they're terrible, and they're pink!
One of the things I loved most about MANDARAKE was these big bags of Keshi they could have. Keshi are these like tiny little rubber figures, usually about an inch or 2 tall, and they come in different varieties of characters and colours. And I just grabbed 2 big bags of these, which were mostly like Kinnikuman Man, some Gundam stuff, some Dragon Ball Z, and I was really excited to bring these home and go through them. And if you want to check out that video where I go through my bags of Keshi figures, that's on this channel as well. One of the first things that really blew my mind about Japanese toy collectors is that they clearly take such good care of their stuff, because all the things that were second-hand or third-hand repackaged stuff was in such amazing great condition still in with their boxes, and anything that was like defective or broken, it was labelled there on the box. It was all really clear and easy to understand. You feel so safe buying this stuff even if it's not brand new. One of the other things that I really enjoyed was there was no like negative stigma around buying toys or like collecting games or cards here in Japan. It's just like a normal part of the culture. It's not taboo or uncool. It's just a thing that people either are into or they're not. And I very much am. There are MANDARAKE stores all over Japan. I believe most of them are even more insane than this one. So if you get a chance, definitely make sure you have Mandarake on your list. No matter what you're looking for, you will find it. So Jungle was the next place that I visited, and this is another store that's multiple stories and just wall-to-wall Japanese gold. Just stacks and stacks of Ultraman, of Kaiju, so many Godzilla, the absolute largest collection of vintage new Transformers I've ever seen, so much awesome 80s and 70s robot radness. These guys were also super nice and helped me out despite my very limited Japanese. So these guys were so cool. And Jungle, I believe they've got stores all around Japan, so this is one I would highly recommend.
君の手にカーロボットポルシェ935ターボ
The next bit of footage is sort of a mishmash between different hobby, games and toy stores that I went to. Some were in the market, some were in the city, but they were all just as amazing. And we started off here with some hobby station stores. So a store called SPANKY and a store called RUSSY, which was just in the markets, which had some amazing vintage Sofubi and vinyl stuff. This place is called SPANKY. This came out of SPANKY, and I was trying to find a place called RUSSY, and I couldn't find it anywhere, and it's next door. Nowhere near here. Of course, I had to go to the Pokemon Center in Nagoya. Check that out. Picked up some amazing Pokemon cards for my nephew. So now that I'm in here, I think it's actually just a big pharmacy. Everything in Japan looks like a toy store. It's very confusing. Super Kids Land was a really good store that had lots of model kits, which is something that I'm not so much into, but it was still really fun to explore there. course, you can't walk past a Toys R Us in another country without going in, especially since we no longer have Toys R Us here in Australia. So had to check out Toys R Us as well, and it's really cool to see such a different vibe in there. Obviously, you go in to a Western Toys R Us, and there's certain things you expect to see, and some of that was there, but of course, there was a big focus, especially in action figures, on stuff like Kamen Rider and Ultraman, which I was super excited about. So next up was the MEDICOM store, which is like a really cool, sort of more high-end designer toy store that has kind of like Banksy and Cores and Bear Brick kind of stuff. Really cool to check out. A little bit out of my price range, and not really the kind of stuff that I generally collect, but it was really cool to go and check out some of that stuff, and they were really awesome, and they were very happy to have me film as well.
Let's go look at some designer toys, eh? That we can't afford.
Funnest thing was as well, I picked up my first ever Bear Brick figure and picked up a super rare one. Victoria Cuckoo, or Treasure Bomb, as I know it, without butchering the Japanese name. It was a really awesome series of second-hand shops that had stuff like, you know, clothes and boots and sunglasses and cameras and all the kind of regular stuff you'd expect to see, but also lots and lots of awesome vintage toy goodness. So I went to two separate stores, so this is footage from both of those stores. Lots of stuff. Again, lots of Ultraman, lots of Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, lots of Gundam stuff, lots of Western stuff as well, Dragon Ball Z, lots of manga and anime stuff that maybe not so much my forte, but if you're looking for it, it is there. And really great prices and really cool people as well. I picked up a few items here, especially for some great gifts for my friends back home. And as you can see, there's a lot to take in, so I spent quite a while in this store. Now, obviously I went to Japan specifically looking to bring back Japanese stuff. There was no point going to Japan and buying things that I could get here in Australia, but I was so glad that I took a chance and made a really long, hot, sweaty trek in the Japanese summer to a little store called RPM. RPM was absolutely worth the trek because it blew my mind with its not only wall-to-wall, but ceiling-to-floor stock of amazing toys from the West. Especially some really amazing and rare stuff from the United States that I would still not be able to find here in Australia. They had an insane section of rare US toys, some of which I've never even seen in person. They had lots of carded Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They had food fighters, which I've never seen before.
Food fight!
Your history, Private Pizza! Pow!
They had My Pet Monster stuff, and lots just like fast food mascots, and amazing pop culture stuff from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and to today. And the lovely person that was running the store as well, despite the fact that I didn't speak Japanese, she didn't speak English, we got the Translate apps out and we had a bit of a chat. I just had to compliment her on the amazing store, and she gave me some recommendations for some other places to check out. So that was super, super cool. Overall, amazing experience, 10 out of 10, amazing store. If you are in Nagoya, Japan, make sure you check out RPM. So there it was, toy hunting in Nagoya, Japan. Some amazing stores. Sorry if some of the footage was a little bit short. I don't do a lot of toy hunting videos, but I figured there was just so much stuff. I had to share as much of it as I can with you guys. So I do hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit like, hit subscribe. You know how to do all that stuff to help out YouTube channels, so please do that. I've got lots of other videos about Japan toy hunting, including some of my Keshi collection, some of the Ultraman stuff I got, and some other toy hunting in other cities. So if you want to check those out, make sure you stay subscribed to the channel and check out some more Japan toy hunting adventures. Until next time, keep it weird and never stop playing. Cute boy.